Freunde, herzlich willkommen auf unserem YouTube-Kanal. Wir haben heute hohen Besuch hier im Haus und zwar geht es um die JL Audio Subwoofer, die man jetzt auch schon im Hintergrund sieht. Wir haben heute den Doug Henderson hier, Senior Vize-Präsident der Firma JL Audio, und der erzählt uns heute mal ein bisschen zu den Produkten, was die Produkte auch von anderen Herstellern abhebt, was die Unterschiede zwischen den Serien sind. Das Ganze wird auf Englisch natürlich stattfinden, weil er ist ja aus Amerika angereist. Ja, hello Doug, we are proud to have you here today to introduce some of the products and the differences between the products. Maybe you can tell us a few things about the company, where you came from, why you are doing subwoofers, and the differences between the products.
Yes. Well, I'm very pleased to be here, Michael. JL Audio has been in business since 1975, founded by two high school friends, Jim Birch, who's the J of JL Audio, and Lucio Proni, who's the L of JL Audio. And the two friends are still working together every day in our headquarters. The company's grown massively over the years, so we now have 600 employees approximately, 200,000 square feet of manufacturing, and we have additional facilities outside of Florida, in Arizona, where we do electronics design, and Portland, Oregon, on the West Coast, where we do signal processing and DSP design. So we've developed a very broad range of products. We actually have been involved in the automotive space, car audio space for a very long time, back to the roots of the company, and then in the marine audio space, where we're a dominant marine audio supplier. And on the home side, we developed and sold our first subwoofer all the way back in 2005, so 15 years ago. Started at the top end with a Gotham, right?
Very impressive product, by the way.
Yes, yes. And from the Gotham, we developed technologies that have really been used throughout the line. The next range that we developed was the Fathom series. So this is a Fathom model here, an F110. That's the smallest of the Fathoms. And then developed a less costly version, but still very high performance in the E-sub range. And then more recently, what we would describe perhaps as the entry level is the Dominion, but as we like to say, it's entry level and everything but performance. It's still a very, very strong performer. I don't know if you want to ask me any specifics of the products.
Yeah, what is the main differences between the three series?
Okay, so first of all, they share some things in common, which I would mention, which is that every product gets a JL Audio developed and manufactured driver. I always say the driver is kind of the heart of the system. We want a very high performance envelope, tremendous excursion capabilities. We don't want to drive power the driver into distortion. So it has a lot of capability. So every JL system has a dedicated JL Audio driver. The electronics similarly are developed for each. Yeah. Now naturally, as you go from the Dominion to the E and up to the F, you get more sophisticated drivers, more sophisticated electronics, more powerful amplifier as you step up through the range. When you get to Fathom, we have what we call Darrow digital automatic room optimization, which is our automatic room EQ. 18 band, 1/6 octave parametric EQ. The system does all the work itself. It's basically you use a microphone, calibrated microphone, and you engage the system and it optimizes to the room. So you get more sophisticated driver technology, more sophisticated electronics, the Darrow at the top, but basically there's a very strong family character all the way through.
Doug wird jetzt noch ein paar Worte zu dem Treiber hier halten, weil der ist äußerst beeindruckend und auch verdammt schwer. Ich heb den jetzt mal hoch. Der ist nämlich schwerer als so mancher kompletter Subwoofer. Yeah, Doug, can you tell us a few words about this impressive driver here?
Yes, so this is an E-sub driver, which is actually our middle range driver. So this is relatively light, Michael, despite your struggle to get it off the ground. And there are some unique aspects of this. One is that this front baffle is part of the whole mechanical assembly. So this bolts to the front of the enclosure, makes it a very rigid system. We don't want anything moving but the cone. You can see how deep the basket is. So we want to give it a lot of linear excursion. There's a surround up top here, if you can rotate that. So there's a double surround, a surround up top, a surround down at the bottom, and that prevents the cone from torquing.
So it's working very linear.
Very linear over a very long excursion. You can see that you can't quite see so easily the voice coils in here. The voice coil is an overhung coil, so it again always remains in the voice coil gap even under tremendous excursion. There's a lot of vent area to allow air to circulate. Cast aluminum basket. These very heavily engineered lead-out wires that are mounted to the chassis. Oftentimes the lead-out wires are actually molded into the suspension,
so they can rip off.
Right, so that they can.
These can't.
This can't, and it stays very linear. It doesn't affect the suspension elements at all. Very big magnet, of course, a lot of power. And one of the other things you can see at the end, there's a big bolt here. The driver is actually bolted into the enclosure, so it's mounted to the front baffle and bolted to the back. So nothing can.
So no vibration, nothing.
Exactly.
How many centimeters or inches can it go?
Now don't hold me to this because it's an estimate, but I think it's 2.5 to 3 inches on the E112 that we're holding here. Something on the order of 3 inches.
This is really a big movement.
A lot of travel. And this is the middle range. The Gotham Fathom drivers are even bigger and heavier.
It's getting heavier.
Yes. And much as this is constructed, the Dominion series has a similar construction. Doesn't have the double spider, but it still has a very big motor assembly, very big cast basket. It's very deep. So even at the entry point, there's a lot of similarities in the drivers.
What kind of filters are these 3 series using? Are they all digital, or are they also using analog filters if you bypass, for example, the automatic calibration?
So the calibration is digital filters. You can bypass and then have an analog input if you're using an external processor perhaps to do that, or if you want to be completely purist. The CR1 crossover, which we often use in purist stereo systems, is a completely analog piece. It does not take the signal to digital.
So you can always install a purist system without digital filters if you like.
Correct.
This is, I think this is very interesting also for pure stereo systems, not only home cinema systems.
So although I will say that the DSP, as in the Gotham and Fathom, is very, very sophisticated and it really imposes no sonic penalty, but provides a lot of sonic gain. So this is not the DSP of a couple of generations ago where you'd have concerns about the performance quality.
Doug, thank you very, very much for the explanations. It was very nice to have you here, and I hope we could give you some information about the products, and I hope to see you here again.
Great. Danke schön.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you.
Ja, wir haben alle 3 Serien auch hier bei uns in der Demo. Also ihr könnt jederzeit Termin vereinbaren, um euch eins dieser Modelle hier anzuhören. Die GL Audio Subwoofer sind für uns, was aktive Subwoofer angeht, die high-endigsten Subwoofer auf dem Markt. Und wie gesagt, wir haben alle 3 Serien auch hier vorführbereit.